everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara East. I'm a writer, blogger, YouTuber, and the author of the mystery novel, Every Time He Dies. And in this week's video, I want to talk about having something to say. Recently, I've been working on a mini-series that focuses on the writing routines of non-fiction authors. And while doing some of the research for the first 2 episodes of this series, I noticed one piece of advice continued to come up. And that was, writing is easier when you have something to say. That may sound like it's only relevant to nonfiction, but it's just as important for fiction. When you first begin a writing project, you may know what it is you want to say because you're writing from experience. Or you might simply be interested in a topic and you want to learn more about it. Often for me, I have a loose idea of what I want to say, but it's in the act of writing and researching that the message solidifies, becomes more complex, or changes entirely. I wish I was the type of writer who could clarify their argument or their idea simply by thinking about the story or essay or by conducting research. But it is in the act of writing that I'm forced to articulate the connections I'm making, and it's how I assess the strength of my argument or story. Is this efficient? Not if you consider the volume of words that may wind up getting cut. But if writing is the process that helps me get to the conclusion, then maybe it is efficient. Maybe it helps me arrive at the end sooner than if I would have only thought about the story. Now, obviously, if you only ever think about your story, you'll never finish because you never start. In the end, we all pay the same toll fee, it's just at different ends of the highway. Some writers spend years researching, brainstorming, and outlining before they ever begin writing. The result is that they produce a very tidy first draft. Other writers spend the same number of years toggling between research, thinking, writing, and editing, producing multiple drafts along the way. Is one better than the other? No, it's just a matter of process. So why does having something to say, no matter how you go figuring it out, make writing easier? Number 1, because it gives you guided structure. When you know what your ultimate conclusion is, you can then walk backwards and figure out what steps or scenes or chapters would lead to that result. Number 2 is that it keeps you focused. If you ever find yourself wandering off and getting lost, your message is the beacon that will guide you back, that will help you become clear on what to include and what to exclude from your writing. When working on nonfiction pieces, you can follow the following structure loosely. 1, providing context, so introducing the problem, event, or scenario. Number 2, providing evidence or clarifying your argument. And number 3, arriving at a conclusion and potentially giving the reader an action step. When writing fiction, you need to consider whether the overall story or each individual scene is working together to support the message you are exploring. While it is easy to write a loose and spooling essay or story, it is much more difficult to figure out what it is you have to say. So, how do you go about having something to say? By doing stuff, by living life, by having experiences, making mistakes, taking risks, reading books, talking to really smart people, thinking deeply about big problems, and looking for connections. Having a writing practice will make you a better writer. You'll learn how to start projects and, most importantly, how to finish them. You'll get an understanding of sentence structure and language, of how to build an argument or craft a compelling story. It'll help you figure out a process and a routine that works for you. Writing can also help you figure out your thoughts about a particular topic, but that spark of inspiration, that desperation to share an insight, story, or message will most likely come from living. When you know what it is you have to say, writing then becomes the container for saying it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about this idea of having something to say? Do you think you need to figure it out before you start writing, that you can do it while you're writing? Or do you think it's not that valuable at all, that it's perfectly fine to just write a good story? Please leave a comment below and let me know, because I'd love to hear. Now, if you'd like even more writing advice, you can head to taraeast.com and dive into the archives, or you can check out the other videos on this channel. Now, if you'd like to join my email newsletter, and I really hope you do, I've put a link in the description box below. Now, if you do, I'll send you a free gift, which is called the Follow-Through Formula, how to complete a long-term writing project. You'll also receive an email in your inbox every single Thursday morning containing a note by me, a little quote, links to that week's blog and vlog, resources that I've recently enjoyed and think you will too, and some other tidbits that I only share via email. Thank you so much for being here this week. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe, stay calm, and keep writing, because the world actually does need more books.